What's up, fellow tankers? Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today we are back in Leopard 1 Tier 10 German medium tank. We're on map Erlenberg, and we're gonna talk about this map a little bit. So I'm gonna show you today how I play Leopard or any lightly armored vehicle on this map, or usually a vehicle that has good camo, relatively good view range, and decent gun. I mean, you can make this play in a light tank, you can make this play in other medium tanks, even TDs that have some mobility. So, in many cases, a lot of heavy tanks on our team usually like to go to location C9, somewhere over there on the other side of the map, to brawl it out with the opposition tanks. But we are lightly armored, so we don't really want to go there. One option would be to go into A0 corner. The problem with going into A0 there to support your team is that you have really no escape route. Or escape route is very difficult and very unpleasant, and you can lose a lot of HP when you do that. So I prefer playing on the west side of the map. And this is usually what I like to come early in a battle. I come here to spot to see who's coming up on the south side of the map. And we can't spot anything right now, so what we're gonna do is relocate. Now normally if there would be shots over there, I would probably go back into cover, go outside of my detection circle and start sniping. But since I didn't really spot anyone, I didn't think anyone actually was crossing to our side of the map. So we're gonna come in the middle here, and this is exactly what I do. When you come in the middle of this map, the opposition likes to camp on the 9 line, and when they do, you're gonna have shots from here, from this location. Especially in a tank that has good camo. So any light tank, like I mentioned, good camo TD, you could easily come here and snipe across to the other side of the map. Now, I didn't expect these guys to be spotted on the south side of the map or southeast. I would usually focus on northeast because that's where our friendlies fight. Like I mentioned to you, C9 area, somewhere over there. So I would usually move up a little bit further north. But in this situation, one of our light tanks decided to go balls deep and commit suicide, so be it. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to the north side right here. And this is what I'm talking about, because you have some buildings here that you can use as cover if you need to. But at the same time, you can look for shots. And the opposition team usually likes to skyline on top of that ridge line at 9 line, like I mentioned to you. So we're gonna keep looking for shots over here, see what becomes available. And if we don't have any shots, we're going to try to reposition. But now we're just going to keep looking for shots. So this play usually works if opposition doesn't bring anyone in the middle of the map. Like for instance, if there are medium tanks or light tanks on the opposing team and they come into position E6, E7, somewhere where the buildings are in the middle, then yeah, this play won't work because you'll get spotted all the time. Then you'll have to pick position behind the house so they don't have line of sight where you're sitting. But in this situation, no one's really spotting me, and that's another thing. Sometimes Reds like to sit on that ridgeline at C0, especially tanks that have good hold-down capabilities. This is usually when they win the C9 area, they'll push across to the northeast side, like B9, B0 area. So you will usually have shots into that area from here. So we're gonna remain patient here. We're gonna see what else shows up. This Emil too seems like he's making a move, so we're gonna wait for him to come into that position. See, that's what I was talking about. So opposition doesn't usually expect anyone to be shooting at them in that position there because there is a ridgeline there, and usually if you're shooting at them, you're normally spotted. But because I'm sitting on the other side of the map, they're not even expecting that I'm here. So these are easy shots into this Emil too, and we should be able to take him out of the game, and we do. So we're gonna keep looking for more shots over here, but as you notice here, like the opposition literally gave up the entire map. And that's normally what happens, or in many cases I found it to happen when you're spawning on the other side of the map. The team that spawns east doesn't want to really make a push anywhere, they just like to sit on that ridge line and they stay together. But because of that, yeah, if you give up the entire area, the whole map pretty much, we are allowed to cross and come under that ridgeline, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come under that ridgeline. especially since I have tanks moving up with me, like this Object 705A. Now the main thing is to stay under that ridgeline and just peek and try to find shots into the guys that are not looking at me. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I have shots into this T-57 Heavy, so we're gonna put a shell into him. Now we don't want to be taking any hits yet, so I don't really want to engage him. He started looking at me, so I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna wait it out. We're gonna lose our sixth sense, and then we're gonna come back and see if he's still looking at us. He's not, so we're gonna put another shell into him. But then he's gonna get mad and he's gonna turn around and he's gonna start looking into this area of the map. So because he did that, we're gonna just try to put a shell into him since he's not looking at us. But I overexposed a little bit too much. Probably should have been shooting into his turret instead of his track. But it is what it is. And we're gonna continue doing the same thing. And because of this play, the game gets won quite quickly, because the opposition can't really do anything here. If they wanted to overcrowd me, if they wanted to come over the ridgeline, I have so many friendlies on this side now supporting me that there is literally no point for them to do that. That's why control of the map is so important, especially on Erlenberg, because it's such a big map. You really need to control certain sectors of the map, and because of the differences in terrain, I can move up a little bit south and have shots into these guys over here, while the guys that are on the north side can't really hit me because of the ridgeline on my left. So at this point, I'm just gonna be picking and choosing who I want to shoot. Really, there's no risk for me to die over here unless someone really wants to YOLO me at this point. That's the only way I would die in this situation. But I still want to be cautious. I want to get as much damage as possible out of this situation, but not die stupidly, right? So there's still a couple of T-57 heavies on the opposing team, so I don't want to get clipped out, tracked and clipped out. So we're just gonna still play it cautious. I mean, I could have went in balls deep and started shooting these guys, but I know at one point some of them will get impatient like this guy, so we're gonna shoot him and then it will be just a closeout. So very quickly, very easily, we disposed of the opposition team, and that's what usually happens. Now, there were a couple of really decent players on the opposing team as well. It's not like they didn't have good players. The problem was that no one on their team wanted to make a push and go across to the other side of the map. None of them made its way into the middle so they can spot and provide that vision to their team. And that was a big problem because they had no vision, they had no control of the map. We could have easily came under that ridgeline, and then all I had to do was just pick and choose who I want to shoot and do I want to overexpose or not, just paying attention to my team, what my team was doing, making sure I have support. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because this is the play that usually works for me very, very well. It's just one of the strategies on this map, but I think it is fantastic. So if you ever want to try this, I strongly suggest that you do. If you find opposition is in the middle and is countering you and spotting you, then find yourself a position where you can lose the line of sight with the opposition light tank or medium tank, and you can still do the damage from the opposite side of the map across the river. After you do that, then you can either progress the way I progressed if your team is actually moving to the other side of the map. If your team is losing or if the game is very close, then you can always fall back to your ridgeline on the west side of the map and let the opposition come, and then you have even more shots of damage right there. Anyway guys, I hope you find this video useful. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.